If you took every single dollar bill, coin, and piece of physical currency in existence today, you would have about $8 trillion. If you added up the value of every stock on every exchange in the world, Apple, Saudi Aramco, all of them, you get about $110 trillion. But there is a third number, a number so large it breaks the human ability to visualize it. It is not the stock market. It is not the bond market. It is a shadow layer of finance that wraps around the global economy like a second skin. Depending on how you measure it, this market is valued at over $1 quadrillion. That is a 1 followed by 15 zeros. It is 10 times the size of the entire global GDP. It operates largely in the dark. It connects the price of bread in Kansas to a pension fund in Tokyo. It destroyed the world in 2008, and right now it is bigger, faster, and more complex than it has ever been in human history. Welcome to the financial dimension that no one talks about, the quadrillion-dollar shadow market. You interact with this market every single day. You just don't see it. When you buy an airline ticket, the price is determined by it. When you buy a loaf of bread, the cost of the wheat was locked in months ago by it. This is the derivatives market. In theory, it's a boring technical mechanism designed to keep the world safe. In reality, it has become the world's largest casino, where the chips are the economies of entire nations. Warren Buffett once called these financial instruments financial weapons of mass destruction. He wasn't trying to be poetic, he was being literal, because unlike a stock, where you buy a piece of a company, a derivative is a bet. That's the definition. It is a contract between two parties that derives its value from something else. That something else can be anything: the price of oil, the temperature in Florida, the credit score of a company, or even the volatility of the market itself. Think of it as financial dark matter. You can't see it, but its gravity dictates the movement of everything else. And the terrifying part isn't that it exists, it's that the math behind it assumes a stable world. And looking at the news, does the world look stable to you? To understand how we got to $1 quadrillion, we have to go back to the beginning. The logic starts out innocent enough. Meet the farmer. He grows wheat. His biggest fear is that when harvest time comes, the price of wheat will crash and he'll go bankrupt. He wants safety. Meet the baker. He buys wheat. His biggest fear is that the price of wheat will skyrocket and he won't be able to afford to bake bread. He also wants safety. So they make a deal, a forward contract. The farmer agrees to sell the wheat to the baker for $5 a bushel in 6 months, regardless of what the market price is. This is a derivative in its purest form. It's insurance. The farmer creates certainty. The baker creates certainty. The economy runs smoothly. This is the boring, helpful side of the market. But then the bankers arrived, and they realized something profound. You don't actually need the wheat, you just need the contract. Wall Street realized they could bet on the price of wheat without ever owning a farm, driving a tractor, or baking a loaf of bread. They could trade the risk itself. Suddenly, for every 1 bushel of actual wheat in the real world, there were 50 contracts betting on the price of that wheat. This is where the shadow market begins. We stopped trading reality. We started trading the idea of reality. And when you trade ideas, you aren't limited by physical constraints. You can print as many contracts as you want. This brings us to the engine of the apocalypse: leverage. In the stock market, if you want to buy $10,000 worth of stock, you generally need $10,000, maybe $5,000 if you're borrowing on margin. In the derivatives market, to control a contract worth $10,000, you might only need to put down $500, sometimes less. This is great when you're winning. Your returns are massive. But if the market moves against you by just 1%, you don't just lose 1%, you get wiped out completely. You owe more money than you have. Now, multiply that by the entire global banking system. Bank A bets against Bank B. Bank B hedges that bet with Bank C. Bank C sells the risk to a pension fund in Norway. It's a daisy chain of debt. If one entity fails to pay, the next one doesn't get paid, so they can't pay the next guy. This is exactly what happened in 2008. They weren't trading wheat, they were trading derivatives based on mortgages. When the homeowners stopped paying, the derivatives turned into toxic waste. The system froze. You'd think we learned our lesson. We didn't. The market is bigger now, and the bets are even stranger. Now, I need to be fair. When I say $1 quadrillion, finance experts will roll their eyes. They'll tell you that's the notional value. Notional value is the total face value of the contracts. If I bet you $10 that the price of a $1 million house will go up, the notional value is $1 million, but the money actually changing hands is just $10.
They argue the actual risk is much lower, maybe only $15 or $20 trillion. Only. The gross domestic product of the United States is roughly $25 trillion, so even by the conservative, safe metric, the risk exposure of this market rivals the entire economic output of the USA. But here is the catch. That safe math relies on liquidity. It relies on the ability to sell the contract to someone else. In a crisis, liquidity evaporates. No one wants to take the other side of the bet. When that happens, the notional value, that scary quadrillion dollar number, starts to matter. Because if you can't sell the contract, you are on the hook for the whole thing. What makes this truly terrifying is where these trades happen. Stocks trade on public exchanges like the NYSE. There is a record. There is transparency. Derivatives often trade over the counter or OTC. That means it's a private deal between two banks. No public record, no ticker tape. Regulators don't have a full map of who owes what to whom. It is a black box. JP Morgan might know their own exposure, but they don't know if the bank they're trading with is secretly insolvent because of a bet they made with someone else. And right now, the fuse is lit. For 15 years, interest rates were near zero. Money was free. It was easy to place massive leveraged bets because borrowing cost nothing. That era is over. As rates rise, the cost of holding these positions skyrockets. Cracks are appearing. We saw it with the gilt crisis in the UK. We saw it with Silicon Valley Bank. These weren't accidents, they were tremors. The global economy is no longer built on the production of goods and services, it is built on the trading of risk. We have built a skyscraper that touches the moon, but the foundation is made of paper. The bankers tell us the engineering is sound, they tell us the math works, but math doesn't account for panic. And in a theater this crowded, with an exit this small, it doesn't matter how safe the building is, it only matters who smells smoke first.